Good Help is hard to find. It's the second episode of Kirstie Alley's Big Life, and it feels very different to the first episode. Just as enjoyable, but quite different. And I think the main reason for that is it's not as varied. The first episode had a lot of different things going on. This one is all in Kirstie's house. Her house is absolutely gorgeous. And it all, basically all of it, focuses on her attempts to find a personal trainer, and they're trying to find a trainer that will fit both hers and Jim's requirements. And we see them interviewing trainers, and it got really awkward and uncomfortable at one point. I loved the whole episode, but there were about 2 minutes that I really didn't like. But I will explain what that is in a moment. There will, of course, be spoilers from this point on as I share some thoughts. Because it's not as varied as the first episode, I don't have quite as many thoughts as I did with the first episode. What I will say is, I had expected a weigh in. I thought we'd get a weigh in with every episode. That hasn't happened. I'm not necessarily disappointed, it's just something that I expected to happen and it didn't. I'm not sure about the passage of time either. I don't know how long it's been since the first episode, and I'd quite like that information. I think it would help with following Kirstie's weight loss journey and her motivation, and whether she, if she's motivated in one episode but the next, how long has it been since the other episode? So that information would be useful, but again, it's not a big deal. It's just something that I think would have been quite good. So, as I said, the episode does focus on motivation and finding a personal trainer. It's also a little bit of time travel, as they were playing Wii Fit, and Wii Fit used to be huge. I don't even know if they make Wii games anymore. I Googled it. No, apparently not. I used to have a Wii Fit board, absolutely loved it, so that was really good fun. And I have to say, the Wii Fit is a really fun way to work out. I absolutely loved mine. And Kirsty's not quite as enthusiastic, but she does give it a go, and her kids are in it quite a bit, particularly Lillie, and it's just really lovely to see. And the wee fish is always really good fun, and I think really motivational. It's a shame that that's not something that's still very popular. Moving on from that, we do focus after that on trying to find a trainer. And we see interviews with various different trainers, which was quite interesting, very well edited. And part of the fun was trying to work out which trainer they'd pick. And I actually thought they'd go with, I think her name was Alicia. Apologies if I've misremembered that, but I thought they'd go with her. But they decided to go with a trainer called JR, who seems really great, really professional, really knew his stuff. We get to see him training them, and he asks them some really great questions. And my favorite is asking them how they got to be where they are now, which I think is really important, because you can work out as hard as you want and lose the weight, but if you don't evaluate what caused you to gain the weight, whether it's just no longer paying attention to your health or something more serious, you're at risk of gaining it back. And I think that that was a really great thing. He did, however, say, and I quote, there's no limit to weight loss, which I think is a dangerous message, because there should be a limit to weight loss. You shouldn't lose too much weight. But at the same time, there was not really a focus on that. It was just, he said it and we moved on. But it was a bit of a dangerous thing to say. However, on the flip side, he asked them what their ideal weights would be, and Kirstie said she wanted to be around 130, 140. And given her height, I worked it out, that would give her a BMI of 20 ish, which is a really healthy BMI. So I like the fact that the show is highlighting that the target should be a healthy weight. If Kirstie had said, oh, I want to be, 80 pounds or whatever, I think it would be a problem. But it's focusing on a healthy target, and I think that that's really brilliant. So it's ticking all of the right boxes, really motivational episode. The only thing I didn't like is when Kirstie phones up JR, and she's sitting on the bed with a friend, and she says, she's interested in him, but there's a problem. And she tells him she hasn't been around black people that often. I should point out he's black. And she says something to the effect of she's down with brown, but black is whack, or something like that. And I just, it was horrible. It was awful. It only lasted about a minute, and then she told him she was just teasing him. And I think he asked her, "Aren't you friends with Oprah?" or something like that. His response was understandable the way he responded, but it was not nice to watch. I really felt uncomfortable. And part of me hopes that she had pre warned him about it and it was just filmed for the purpose of the episode, but I don't think so. I don't have a reason to believe that's the case. It was not nice. It was not comfortable. But other than that, it's a really great episode, and as I said, I would have liked to I'd assumed that every episode would be finishing with a win, but maybe they're trying to keep things a bit more suspenseful. Again, as I mentioned before, I know what happens with Kirstie's weight because this was a long time ago and I'm a big fan. I love her. I've loved her since I was about 5 or 6. So I was always going to enjoy this show, but I really don't know what to expect going forward. I am very keen to find out though, and I think ultimately I need to expect the unexpected.